I married a sickly man. I had long admired him, but he never looked at me properly to save his beloved. I was defiled and killed by bandits. Given a second chance at life, I willingly became the concubine of the Playboy young master from the west side of the city. On the day of the wedding procession, a sickly man chased the bridal sedan for 3 streets. Since childhood, I have had a face that resembles a seductive fox spirit. Gossipy women say I was born to lure men, and might have slept with anyone for money. During the year of the flood, my family was so poor we couldn't even lift the pot lid. My father sold me to the sickly son of a salt shop to bring him luck, just to get some food for my younger brother. At first, I was quite happy to marry Yi Linen, because I had admired him for a long time, but Yi Linen believed the rumors and looked down on me, never willing to touch me. He drinks medicine every day and also writes letters to his beloved, Shu Luoyang. Unfortunately, the Shu family looked down on the Yi family, not only despising his poverty but also resenting him for failing the imperial examinations for 3 consecutive years. The Yi family despises me deeply. Apart from giving me food, they make me do everything. They blame their failing salt shop business on me, saying I brought them bad luck and that they bought a useless person back. At the end of the month, during a heavy rain, I went to get medicine for Yi Linen in the alley. I saw Shu Luoyang being harassed and stepped in to help. I wanted to run away with Shu Luoyang, but she took advantage of my sprained ankle, pushed me away, and ran off alone. The group of bandits closed in, dragged me into an empty thatched hut. When I died, I only felt disgusted all over. The government office was just a street away, so why wouldn't she save me after I died? Shu Luoyang spread the word everywhere that she had personally witnessed me flirting with those men, covering up the fact that she had been harassed. He listened expressionlessly, and I couldn't tell whether he believed it or not. Yi Linen did not hold a funeral for me. He shut himself in the house for 3 days, refusing to collect the body. He probably found me even more repulsive. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my father arranged a marriage for me. I gaze at the enchanting features in the mirror and curl my lips into a smile. Since heaven has given me this beautiful face, why not make good use of it and make a name for myself? Why should I be trapped under the gaze of others? Upon hearing that the Pei family was looking to take a concubine, I took the initiative and slipped my portrait over to them. The Pei family started their business in textiles, and their only son was a playboy, but they were wealthy, and many girls were eager to marry into the family. I had been considering other young gentlemen as backup options, but to my surprise, the Pei family came to propose marriage just a few days later. Out of all the candidates, they chose me simply because I was the cheapest option. The Pei family elders were extremely stingy, and the betrothal gifts were meticulously calculated. However, no matter how little it was still more than 2 cows. On the wedding day, I sat in the sedan chair dressed in red, planning my future in my mind. A few whispers came from outside, as if someone was chasing the sedan chair. Su Wn, you are not allowed to marry him. Cough, cough, cough. Su Wn, stop quickly. I seemed to hear Yi Linen's voice, but the sound of firecrackers was too loud, making it somewhat unclear. The sedan chair came to a halt. Peiyu lifted the sedan curtain and carried me inside on his back. A new bride's feet must not touch the ground. I never expected that even as a concubine, the Pei family's formalities would be just as thorough. The wedding ceremony was held, and a grand banquet was set. The red bridal veil was occasionally lifted by the wind, and all I could see was Peiyu's hand. Fair and slender, it was clear he had been raised in a pampered environment. What a stroke of good fortune. After going through the whole set of customs, it was already dark. I sat in the room, not knowing how much time had passed. When Peiyu returned, completely drunk, he lifted the red veil. His phoenix eyes filled with a smile as he carefully looked me over. So you're Su Wn, you really are even more beautiful than in the portrait. Are you satisfied, young Master Pei? I raised my most alluring smile, which looked particularly enchanting under the candlelight. He chuckled softly. That depends on your performance tonight. Sure enough, he's a notorious playboy, truly living up to his reputation. I forced a smile and downed a few glasses of wine to bolster my courage. Peiyu took off his cumbersome wedding attire and was about to lean in close to me when he heard the voice of a servant outside. Young Master Pei, there's a sickly man surnamed Yi outside causing a scene. He claims to be an old acquaintance of Miss Su and insists on seeing her. Oh, Pei Yu raised an eyebrow, his eyes fixed on me, but his gaze was cold. Probably no man would like his woman to have any involvement with others. He's not an old acquaintance, I don't know him. I immediately distanced myself. Not letting Yi Linen ruin my plans, Pei Yu chuckled softly, as if seeing through my lie, and instructed the servant to entertain the troublemaker properly. He leaned in, looking up to help me remove the hairpin from my head. I didn't expect the young lady to be so charming. You're getting married, and someone has followed you all the way here. But I have never had feelings for anyone else. From the day I was reborn, I have only liked money. Does that young lady not fancy me either? That depends on how you perform tonight. I threw the words back at him. With a teasing tone, Pei Yu's eyes darkened, and he pressed closer. He bit my lip, kissing me while insisting on asking questions. Do you think that guy surnamed Yi, unwilling to accept you marrying someone else, is still waiting outside? Guess. Do you think he can hear your voice? I frowned, actually losing focus for a moment. I'm just wondering why Yi Linen is acting this way. In my previous life, he was always lukewarm toward me. Pei Yu unhappily pinched my wrist, the pain snapping me back to my thoughts. His eyes darkened slightly as he relentlessly tormented me. Little lady, on our wedding night, you must stay focused. The next day, I woke up to find Pei Yu no longer beside me. Looking at the red marks on my wrist, I truly began to wonder if his years of remaining unmarried were due to some peculiar preferences. Last night was truly excruciating. When I went to serve tea to my in-laws, they simply urged me to give them a healthy, chubby grandson as soon as possible. After all, they arranged for Pei Yu to take a concubine in the hopes of having a child, hoping it would help him settle down and curb his playful nature. I obediently agreed, but as soon as I turned away, I secretly drank a bowl of contraceptive soup. Pei Yu truly lived up to his reputation as a playboy. He was usually either at the opera house or the tea house. I rarely saw him during the day, but sometimes he would come to me at night. Occasionally, he would bring me a gemstone or jade pendant. I sold all those things for money, using it as capital for my business. I enjoy making rouge and face powder, and I've developed some new styles myself, which I sell at shops on the street. Once I've saved enough money, I'll rent a shop and start my own business. My life had just settled down when news spread throughout G City that Pei Yu had redeemed a courtesan from the brothel. That same day, Pei Yu returned with the young woman. I heard she was a top courtesan, quite beautiful. I had long expected him to take a wife or concubine, but I didn't think it would happen so soon. Pity me, I haven't managed to swindle much money yet, and my backer is already gone. In the evening, after finishing the accounts, I was just about to drink the contraceptive soup and rest. Unexpectedly, Pei Yu came over. Shouldn't he be with the new girl? I was taken aback and quickly stepped in front of the contraceptive soup. Husband, what brings you here? Pei Yu looked serious as he took out a box and handed it to me. I opened it to find the night pearl I had sold. I lowered my eyes, not expecting him to notice so quickly. So, my lady really doesn't like the things I gave her. He crossed his arms, his brows slightly raised, looking as if he were here to settle accounts. No, it's just that I had nothing to do. I wanted to use the money to start a small business. Please don't be angry. Husband, opening a cosmetics shop, is that it? How did you know? Pei Yu chuckled lightly, pulling out a land deed and handing it to me. I am your husband, after all. What could I not know? Here, this is a shop I bought earlier. It's been sitting empty and needs a manager, so you can take it. In the future, don't sell all the jewelry and things I give you. Take good care of yourself too. I looked at him in confusion, unable to believe he would help me. What are you standing there for? If you manage it well, I'll take a cut 20%. So that's how it is. Thank you, husband. I smiled and quickly took it. Pei Yu glanced at a bowl of black stuff on the table and asked me what it was. Tonic medicine. I have poor qi and blood. He raised an eyebrow, picked it up to smell, and took a sip. It's so bitter. Don't drink it. I'll bring you some other tonic medicine tomorrow. Before I could put the land deed away, he picked me up and carried me toward the bed. How reckless. My rouge shop opened for business. since I added my own special blend of spices to the rouge. Many young ladies took a liking to it and lined up to buy it. At noon, an unexpected guest arrived at the shop. Yi Linen was dressed in blue, his face unnaturally pale. "Miss Su, please give me a moment, I have something to say to you. I am now a concubine of the Pei family. Please call me Concubine Pei." His eyes dimmed. "Wanna, must we be so distant? Clearly, the one you should have married is me. You used to love sneaking peeks at me the most. Why haven't you replied to any of the letters I've written you these past few days?" I was slightly stunned, and an unbelievable thought arose. Could it be that he has also been reborn, but in this lifetime? I won't spare him another glance. "I've burned all those letters. Master Yi, I have nothing to say to you. Please leave." I stepped back distantly, the pain in his eyes evident as he quickly grabbed my wrist. "Wanna, has the Pei family been treating you poorly? How could they let a woman like you go out and do business in public? You do have feelings for me, don't you, you? Cough cough asterisk. Come back to me. I promise to follow all the proper rituals and marry you as my wife. Cough asterisk. I would never let you be a concubine." Looking at the agitated man before me, I felt nothing but unfamiliarity. Suddenly, a sedan chair stopped at the shop entrance. Peiyu used a fan to lift the sedan curtain, looking at us coldly. "It seems the shop is quite busy, with all sorts of guests. Wanwan, come here." I wanted to push Yi Linen away, but his grip was too strong. He always seemed so frail and weak at other times. Peiyu's eyes grew even colder as he stepped out of the sedan chair and strode over, deliberately raising his voice. "Little lady, I've come to take you back for dinner." He gave a light, annoyed push, and Yi Linen stumbled back several steps. Peiyu pulled me close, his tone unfriendly. "Is this gentleman also here to buy rouge? If you have any business, you can speak to Dongzhu. I don't like others bothering my people." Dongzhu was the maid assigned to me. Yi Linen looked at him. Even though they were about the same height, his sickly demeanor made him seem half a head shorter. "Your person, she never belonged to you in the first place." Yi Linen's face was deathly pale, his eyes fixed on me the whole time. "But now she is my wife." Peiyu emphasized the last two words heavily. "So what? The one she fancies isn't you?" Peiyu's face darkened, and he opened his mouth to say something harsh, but the surrounding guests were all watching the scene. Whispering among themselves, he said gently, "Young lady, in the future, you mustn't let just anyone in, lest you get bitten by a mad dog and suffer for it." "I understand, husband." I smiled sweetly in response and followed him into the sedan chair. Yi Linen watched us leave, his anger simmering with nowhere to vent. Inside the sedan chair, Peiyu played with my hand. "Does it hurt? It's all red. That sickly wretch is truly shameless, daring to bully you in broad daylight." "It's fine. Thank you for stepping in just now, husband. I know that, according to Peiyu's original temper, he would have likely already taken action against Yi Linen, but with outsiders present, if things escalated, others would only spread more gossip about me and Yi Linen, especially since my reputation is already poor. Retreating in order to advance is the best strategy." "Is that all you have to say?" He snorted coldly, looking at me with a mix of sarcasm and resentment, his displeasure clearly evident in his eyes. As I was thinking about how to appease him, he had already leaned in and bitten my lip. "Little lady, stay away from him from now on." At the dinner table, my mother-in-law noticed my swollen lips and thought I was suffering from internal heat, so she had the maid make me some mung bean soup. I smiled awkwardly and thanked my mother-in-law. Peiyu sneered, his jealousy not yet fully dissipated, and insisted that I peel shrimp for him to appease him. I thought that was the end of it, but that night, he came to my room again and pestered me for a long time. "That courtesan is also quite beautiful, so why doesn't he just go to her?" The next day, I prepared to go to the shop. With an aching back and sore muscles, just happened to run into the courtesan wandering at the door. Dongzhu muttered softly, wondering if this woman was here to show off. I wasn't afraid and went straight up to her. The courtesan saw me, timid and cautious, and spoke carefully. "Auntie Pei, hello, my name is Liu Rumeng. Thanks to young Master Pei for saving me, I managed to keep my life. I thought I could help out around the house as a way to repay him. Young Master Pei said I should come to you." Her eyes were large and bright, her face incredibly pure. and her timid appearance truly evoked pity. A sense of caution rose within me. After all, she came from a brothel. I didn't mind if she tried to steal a man, but I hoped she wouldn't scheme against me here and try to take my money. What can you do? I probed. I can do some women's work, weaving, cooking, and I can learn anything else I don't know. She showed great enthusiasm. I took her to the shop and gave her some very fragmented odd jobs to see how she would perform. I didn't expect that for several days in a row. She never complained about hardship or fatigue, did everything beautifully, and would ask Dongju about anything she didn't understand. What puzzled me even more was that she never actively flirted with Peiyu, nor did she try to probe me. I couldn't understand it. Liu Ruming helped sell rouge in the shop. Her face is quite attractive, and with just a light touch of makeup, she looks utterly charming. Upon seeing this, the girls all clamored to buy it. Watching from the side, I thought of a new sales strategy. Suddenly, I caught sight of a red stain on Liu Ruming's dress. I quickly stepped forward to cover her up and took her to the back room to change her clothes. Doesn't this girl even know when her period comes? I had Dongju bring her a bowl of brown sugar water to drink. Liu Ruming looked at me with reddened eyes, as if she were about to cry. What are you doing? It looks like I'm bullying you. I wiped her tears, and she held my hand. No, Auntie, no one has ever been so kind to me before. I just couldn't help it. Liu Ruming's tears fell ceaselessly, as if they cost nothing. She said her family was very poor. Her parents had never treated her well since she was young, and she had been sold into the brothel by her father as the courtesan. Wealthy men wanted to buy her first night, sizing her up like a pet in a garden. Peiyu spent lavishly and brought her back directly, but not to claim her. He simply pitied her. If it weren't for Master Pei, I don't know where I'd be, being bullied by others right now. From now on, I, Liu Ruming, will belong to the Pei family in life and be the Pei family's ghost in death. Whatever Madame Pei asks of me, I will do. She hugged me, crying, her tears staining the front of my clothes. I patted her back, as if seeing myself in her. It's okay, it's all in the past. From now on, I'll protect you. Peiyu frowned as he watched Liu Ruming and me going everywhere together every day. When did you become so close with her, and you even let her stay in the mansion? Aren't you afraid she might have ulterior motives? Don't worry, dear. A top courtesan like her has seen all kinds of men. She won't make a move on you. Besides, I've successfully convinced Liu Ruming, and now she only wants to work with me to grow the business bigger and stronger. Peiyu's face darkened as he tightened his grip on the fan. Aren't you concerned at all? Aren't you afraid I might be seduced by other women? Men often have multiple wives and concubines. If you have a woman you fancy, there's no need to inform me. I was busy reviewing the account books and lazily tried to brush him off. His expression darkened even more as he snatched the book from my hands. It's so late, and you're still watching. Won't you keep your husband company? I'm on my period today, so it's not convenient. I might as well have written husband. Please leave on my face. Peiyu gritted his teeth, stood up, and picked me up. Husband, I'm really not comfortable. I struggled as he pressed me onto the bed and covered me with the blanket. I didn't say we were going to do anything. Lie down and sleep. Peiyu hugged me from behind, his hand resting on my waist, gently massaging. When you have your monthly cycle, your waist always feels cold. Tomorrow, I'll have someone send you some more tonic medicine. Thank you, husband. I blinked, feeling that he was completely different from the unrestrained and dissolute image rumored about him. My heart felt as if it had been lightly scratched by a cat, a faint, ticklish sensation, yet somewhat sweet and cloying. I wasn't sleepy at first, but in his arms, I gradually drifted off to sleep. At the end of the month, perhaps because the rouge shop had gained some fame, Shu Luoyang actually came to buy rouge as well. When she saw me, her eyes held a hint of disdain, as if saying, marrying a wealthy merchant won't turn a wild chicken into a phoenix. Shu Luoyang was picking and choosing at the table when she saw Yi Linen hurrying over. Miss, young Master Yi actually came. Could it be that he's here to buy rouge for you? Her maid whispered with a laugh. Don't talk nonsense, Shu Luoyang scolded in a low voice, but her eyes were filled with pride. I watched her every move, thinking to myself how foolish I had been in my past life to save such a woman. Yi Linen entered the shop, looking hurried. Shu Luoyang sat gracefully, waiting for him to speak to her, but he walked right past her and came toward me. I paused, seeing Yi Linen smiling at me. "Wanna, I heard you sprained your hand, so I specially bought some medicine. Is your hand okay?" "It's fine," I responded coldly, turning away to avoid him despite having said it many times. Yi Linen still came over. He doesn't care at all about what others might say about me or whether it would damage my reputation, just like in our previous life, when he insisted on writing to Shu Luoyang regardless of whether I would be hurt or not. "Wanna, I know you don't want to see me, but please take this medicine. It's a secret recipe from Dr. Chen, and it works exceptionally well. No need. My husband has already hired the best doctor for me, and I've fully recovered." His eyes dimmed, but he still persisted in trying to talk to me. I waved my hand, and the attendant beside me stepped forward to shoo him away. Shu Luoyang watched the person who once admired her reduced to such a pitiful state, and her anger flared up. I knew what she was thinking. If Yi Linen was pursuing me now, what did his past admiration for her even mean? Doesn't that make her even less than a wild chicken like me? This rouge is so tacky. I don't know how those people could have taken a liking to it. Indeed, what kind of person has what kind of thing? How could you possibly find anything good in a pile of dirt? Shu Luoyang looked disdainful, her voice neither too loud nor too soft, deliberately letting me hear it. Liu Rumeng frowned, sensing something off, and stepped forward directly. "Miss, even the finest goods need someone to appreciate them. If you lack the eye for it, that's one thing. But why say it out loud and make a fool of yourself?" Several regular customers nearby chimed in, pointing and whispering at Shu Luoyang with their fans. "Ph, a lousy rouge, I don't even care about it." Shu Luoyang's face turned pale with anger, and she turned and left. I smiled and quietly gave the order, "From now on, never sell rouge to the Shu family." Several months passed in the blink of an eye, and it was the day of my death in my previous life. Outside the window, heavy rain poured down. Inside the house, I was going over the accounts, but no matter how I calculated, I just couldn't make them clear. I can't calm my mind, so I still plan to go out and take a look. Although that Shu Luoyang looks down on others, the real culprits are still those bandits. If I knew she would get into trouble and didn't warn her, how would I be any different from her despicable self in life? All we seek is a clear conscience. I put on my coat and planned to report to the authorities, hoping to bring those bandits to justice. As soon as I opened the main gate, I ran into Yi Linen, dressed in blue. He stood pale under the eaves, soaked through, and I had no idea how long he had been waiting there. "Wanna, I was just about to knock." His eyes lit up as he looked at me with surprise. "What are you doing here?" I get annoyed just seeing him, yet he still lingers like a ghost. "I came to see if you're doing well," Yi Linen said softly, his anxious heart finally settling. I stared at him and decided to lay my cards on the table. "Yi Linen, I won't be in any danger because, just like you, I've been reborn from my previous life. I won't repeat the mistakes of the past." "What?" Yi Linen's expression changed, a mix of joy and sorrow washing over him all at once. "So, you deliberately refused to marry me. Do you hate me so much? I must have been foolish in my past life too. Now is not the time to talk about this. Shu Luoyang might have been wronged. I need to report it to the authorities." I hurriedly picked up an umbrella, but he stopped me. "No need, I've already reported it." I stayed where I was, and my heart suddenly calmed down. That's right. How could he possibly stand by and watch Shu Luoyang die without lifting a finger? But why didn't he take the opportunity to make a good impression on the Shu family, and instead came here to wait for me? Does he really want to admire me again? How ridiculous. "Wanna, in my previous life, I didn't cherish you properly. After you passed away, I couldn't eat, was in unbearable pain, and refused to see your body. Since we've been given a chance to live again, I want to treat you well. Will you give me another chance?" Yi Linen's eyes were red, and he coughed as he spoke. He got caught in the rain, and I'm afraid he's feeling even worse now. I lowered my eyes to watch the curtain of rain outside, feeling utterly unmoved inside. If he truly loved me, how could he bear to treat me poorly? He is just greedy, wanting both those who adore him and those who don't. I don't want to say more, so I turn around to go back inside, but he grabs me. "Wanna, I truly know I was wrong. Could you just turn around and look at me? In this lifetime, I won't let you down again. I will treat you with the utmost care. And I won't be as reckless as Pei Yu, bringing women home casually. What must I do for you to believe me? I can kneel and swear to the heavens. I frowned, impatiently pushed him away, and raised my hand to slap him across the face. My husband is not someone for you to comment on. Yi Linen, the way you are behaving right now is truly despicable. Seeing you like this now, I feel disgusted by the affection I once had for you. He stood there in a daze, his entire body frozen. Wanna. His eyes reddened, and tears began to fall. Every extra glance I gave him felt like it was shortening my lifespan. Just as I was about to turn around, footsteps approached from behind, and a thick cloak was draped over me. Little lady, aren't you cold? A familiar scent wafted over as I was pulled into an embrace. Pei Yu still wore a leisurely smile, but his eyes turned cold as he took my reddened hand. Teaching someone a lesson is my job. A delicate lady like you might get hurt if you hit too hard. Husband, I'll leave it to you then. That day, I didn't look back again. I don't know what Pei Yu said or did to Yi Linen after that day. Yi Linen never came to the shop again. I heard he was severely beaten, broke his leg, caught a cold, and has been bedridden ever since. From that day on, Pei Yu has been following me, accompanying me to and from the shop every day. Of course, he didn't let me off easily for secretly meeting Yi Linen, settling the score with me many nights in a row. The weather cleared up, and business at the shop improved. I was attending to customers when I overheard a few young women whispering among themselves. Have you heard? Miss Shu was violated a few days ago. During that heavy rain, I heard about it too. Luckily, someone reported it to the authorities, and the constables rushed over. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't have survived. Those villains were bandits from the mountains. No wonder she hasn't been seen outside these past few days. She's usually so arrogant and willful. It seems she couldn't bear the shock and slit her wrists, but she was saved. I guess it'll be hard for her to marry after this. I never expected Shu Luoyang to end up like this. That day, Yi Linen didn't even settle Shu Luoyang properly before leaving. He merely reported it to the authorities. It's truly lamentable how a girl he once admired so much is now being treated this way. Little lady, what are you daydreaming about? Are you feeling too hot? Pei Yu took out a fan and fanned me, then fed me a preserved plum. I shook my head, and he took out the ledger to show me, pointing out a mistake I had made. You miscalculated here. Luckily, I noticed it, or you'd be staying up late again at the end of the month trying to figure it out. I gave him a puzzled look. You usually just drink tea or watch plays. How do you know so much about this? Over the past few days, Pei Yu hadn't been idle in the shop. He either helped me check the accounts or took inventory, arranging everything perfectly for me. H. Underestimating your husband. Are you? Do you really think I spend all my time idling around? Then why haven't you gone to take the imperial exams yet? Pei Yu smiled and told me about his childhood. On his 5th birthday, a distant relative who was an official was exiled due to factional struggles in the court. The Pei family parents only hoped that Pei Yu could grow up safely, even if he just ate, drank, and enjoyed himself. The family's wealth was enough for him to squander, so when he grew up, he didn't pursue a career in government. When bored, he would read casual books, waiting for his father to hand over the family business to him after. Hearing this, I naturally felt envious. Pei Yu tapped my forehead with amusement. Why are you looking at me like that? In the future, won't everything of mine be yours? I paused, lowering my gaze. You will marry a wife in the future, and she will be the one who shares your life with you. I am just a concubine. Once he grows tired of me and discards me, I can simply take the silver and run away. Pei Yu frowned and suddenly grabbed my waist. Do you really want me to get married that much? Isn't that just a matter of time? Mother-in-law was urging you the day before yesterday. What do you think? Me, of course. I wish you an early arrival of a precious child and a harmonious union for 100 years. You. Pei Yu pushed me away with a dark expression on his face and angrily walked out of the shop. I don't know what I said wrong either. It was all good words. Pei Yu didn't come to see me that night, according to Liu Ruming. He seemed to have gone drinking with his friends at the brothel. See, this is the nature of men. I was busy expanding the shop, and it was a relief that he didn't come. When I saw Pei Yu again, he had brought a girl back with him. The girl was dressed in fine silk, clearly made from the latest fabric of the Pei family. During dinner, my mother-in-law kept probing about that girl, but Pei remained tight-lipped. I kept my head down and ate in silence. I didn't have much of an appetite today, so I only ate half a bowl. It felt like there was a knot in my chest, neither rising nor settling. Pei picked up a piece of sea bass for me, knowing I prefer fish with fewer bones, but I didn't touch it. Standing up to say I was full, he glanced at me, frowning slightly. I walked back to my room, wondering if Pei were to marry, would the rouge shop have to be taken back for his wife by then? I'm afraid I won't even be allowed to sit at the table for meals. Originally, concubines weren't supposed to sit at the table, but my mother-in-law said there was no official wife in the family, so she let me sit for now and not feel constrained. I touched the thick account book, feeling a heaviness in my heart. Just thinking about the shop's money no longer being under my control makes me feel uncomfortable. Blowing out the candle, I lay in bed, feeling for the first time that it was too big and somewhat empty. I tossed and turned, forcing myself to fall asleep, yet I couldn't help but imagine scenes of Pei being with another woman late at night. I finally managed to drift off to sleep suddenly. Someone pressed down on me, making it hard to breathe. I jolted awake. By the moonlight, I saw Pei staring at me with a dark expression, as if I owed him money. Sun, you heartless woman, what are you doing? I caught the scent of alcohol on him and tried to push him away, but he grabbed my wrist. These past few days I haven't come to see you, and you haven't bothered to ask about me either. I brought back a girl, and you act as if nothing happened. I was just thinking of you, husband. Afraid to disturb your merrymaking, I retorted sarcastically, and he glared at me. Nonsense, you just don't care about me, all you care about is money. I couldn't argue with that. Pei grew even angrier, lowering his head to bite me. I begged for mercy from the pain, but he still wouldn't let me go. Sun, I can give you anything you want. Why can't you just care a little more about me? Anything I want, I sneered coldly. What if I want to be the legitimate wife and take charge of all the Pei family's shops? Sure, I froze, my eyes wide open. Is Pei drunk? Husband, you're drunk. No, he bit my earlobe, his breath scorching hot. My mother and I have already discussed it. If you give birth to a son for the Pei family, I will make you my official wife. But it's been almost half a year, and I've been working so hard every day. Why hasn't there been any movement in your belly? I didn't dare to make a sound. I never stopped taking that contraceptive soup, afraid he would notice something amiss. I quickly shifted the blame. Who knows, maybe my husband has some hidden ailment that he's unaware of. Nonsense, I'm perfectly healthy. Pei angrily pressed me down and kissed me. It seems I haven't been putting in enough effort. The next day, I didn't wake up until noon. That beast Pei really wasn't planning to act like a human being anymore. I felt completely drained. Just as I finished getting dressed, Pei came in carrying a tray of food. Little lady, you're awake, he said with an ingratiating smile, probably aware of how outrageous he had been the night before. I had the cook prepare your favorite dishes. Give them a try. I snorted coldly, catching the aroma of the food. I was indeed starving. Pei stood behind me, gently massaging my shoulders, and whispered, "Do you remember what I said last night, little lady?" "What?" "Give me a son and become my lawful wife." "If I become your lawful wife, what about the girl you brought back?" Pei was taken aback. "Huh, I just picked her up on the roadside. She was trying to sell herself to bury her father and was being harassed, so I helped her out." "Really?" I asked suspiciously. "Of course it's true. The brothers who were with me all saw it. If you don't believe me, go ask them. I saw that girl dressed in rags, barely covering herself, so I even gave her a set of clothes. Of course, she has nowhere to go now. In the future, let her be your maid," Pei said earnestly, urging me to eat more, all of which were highly nutritious foods. This whole situation made it seem as if I were already pregnant. The girl Pei brought back is called Chen Mingyu. I have Dongzhu as my maid, and that's enough. I took Mingyu to the shop and asked Liu Rumeng to familiarize her with the affairs. Within a few days, Liu Rumeng successfully brainwashed her. Chen Mingyu is filled with excitement every day, eagerly following us to earn a good living. With money, a woman can stand on her own, no longer subjected to cold glances or becoming anyone's dependent. A woman must first love herself. then love others to support me in becoming the legitimate wife. Peiyu works diligently every day. Come to my room on time tonight, and we shall work hard together. But before I could become the official wife, my parents from home came to the shop, asking me for money. In fact, ever since I married over, I have been sending half of my monthly allowance to my parents' home, yet my parents are still not satisfied. This time they came, saying that my younger brother needs money for studying and preparing for the imperial examination, and they want me to provide funds for his expenses. As soon as they opened their mouths, they demanded 500 taels. I looked at them with amusement. If my brother had any promise, there would be no need to go to such lengths. If he has no promise, then all the effort would be in vain. What kind of talk is this, after all the trouble we went through to raise you and marry you into a good family? Is this how you repay us? My mother glared at me with sharp sarcasm, while my father remained silent beside her, his eyes filled with resentment. Marry, you're selling your daughter, aren't you? I sneered. In my previous life, I had a hard time living in Yi Linen's household. When I fell ill, no one even bothered to take care of me. Now, what's the point of talking about repayment or not? Besides, I've been the worthless girl they've scolded since I was little in this life. They didn't give me a single penny of the dowry they received from the Pei family. Su Wn, don't think that just because you've married into the Pei family, you're now part of the upper class. Your brother is still waiting for your help. If you don't care about our lives, I'll definitely go to the Pei family and complain, letting them see what a heartless little wretch you are. My mother scrutinized my attire, unsatisfied even with 500 taels, wishing she could dig more silver out of me. I looked at them coldly. If you want silver, I have none. If you want my life, here it is. Anyway, I only have so much money to give you each month. If you don't want it, forget it. Fine, we really raised you for nothing. You heartless thing. Is it so hard to ask you for a little money now? When your brother becomes the top scholar in the future, see if he'll even acknowledge you as his sister. Let's talk about it when he actually gets in. What kind of material my brother is, don't I know? He's been spoiled by our parents since he was little, only knowing how to fool around, catch fish and shrimp, and play rough. He can't handle a drop of ink. What kind of attitude is this? You've only been married for a few months and you're already turning your back on your own family. Do you want to cut ties with us as mother and daughter? My mother was heartbroken and deliberately raised her voice. The people around all turned their heads, wanting to come and watch the commotion, but they were stopped by the servants. Peiyu arrived in a sedan chair, carrying a box of food. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, it's been many days since we last met. How have you been? He stepped forward to exchange pleasantries, subtly positioning himself in front of me. My mother, as if seeing a savior, desperately grabbed his hand and tearfully recounted how heartless I had been. Peiyu listened attentively, glancing at my expression. Finally, after my mother finished venting, she revealed her true intentions and asked you for money. Peiyu pretended to be in a difficult position. Mother-in-law, it's not that I don't want to give it, but all the money in the household, big and small, is managed by Wanwan. I only listened to her. My mother and father were stunned, probably not expecting that the notoriously arrogant and domineering Playboy would end up in such a state. I watched them expressionlessly, and my mother's face finally fell. Before leaving, my mother passed by me and scolded me in a low voice. You really are a seductress. I shouldn't have given birth to such an ungrateful wretch. This is my mother, a mother who, like me, is a woman. She knows which language is the most vicious and how to hurt me. Watching my parents leave in anger, Peiyu was still waving at them. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, take care on your way. Don't bother seeing yourselves out. Come back and visit when you have time. Peiyu turned around, his expression returning to gentleness, and led me into the shop for a meal. The food he brought was all my favorites, and he quietly served me soup, trying to cheer me up. I lowered my head to eat, my eyes slightly red, and I no longer felt wronged deep down. Strangely enough, Peiyu used to spend his days idling around outside, but now he clings to me all day long. He accompanies me to the shop every day, holding an umbrella and delivering soup. His brothers all laugh at him for being a henpecked husband. Peiyu looks quite pleased with himself, saying they don't understand the blessings in it. Recalling how good he has been to me over the past 6 months, I always feel it's somewhat unreal. I've stopped taking the contraceptive soup. I want to test it out, to see if he will truly be good to me all along. If he breaks his promise, I'll pack up the shop's silver and run away. Half a month later, my parents came looking for me again. This time, they didn't have the harshness from before, grabbing me with a tone of desperation. Sue WN, please help your brother, he got into trouble while playing outside and offended someone he shouldn't have. If we can't come up with the money, he might lose his hand. Considering we raised you, you can't just stand by and watch him suffer, can you? He's your own brother. But when I was a child, every time my brother falsely accused me and I was punished for his mistakes, they never showed me any mercy. I wiped away non-existent tears with a handkerchief and began to weep. But I am just a woman, how could I possibly have such great ability? I only know how to serve my husband and raise children. I hold no real power in my husband's household, and it's already a blessing just to have food to eat. It's a shame that father and mother raised me, a worthless daughter. To this age, I am truly useless, unable to help you in any way. What on earth should we do? I threw back at them the words they had said before. They were left speechless. My younger brother got himself into trouble, and I can't keep cleaning up his messes. He needs to take responsibility for his own actions to learn his lesson. My parents were angered by me again and left, looking deeply aggrieved. They may never understand why their lives are always so difficult, because they placed all their hopes on their precious son, yet never properly taught him. My rouge shop has opened a branch. The shop expanded and took in some unfortunate women to work. I hope to do my humble part to change their mindset and improve their situation. If they don't strive to change their mindset, countless other women will be sold off just like I was. New store opening. All cosmetics are 10% off. Many regular customers have come to try the newly released rouge and powder. I overheard them chatting and mentioning that the Yi family is arranging a marriage. However, Yi Linen would rather die than marry, and when his mother threatened to take her own life, he stopped taking his medication, causing family tensions and unrest. The Yi family's salt shop is also struggling to stay open, and it's likely to close down before long. What are you listening to? Peiyu said lazily, shelling peanuts in his hand. That guy surnamed Yi is seriously ill. What? Do you want to go see him? What nonsense. What does he have to do with me? Better not. Or I'll beat him so badly he'll be bedridden for life. Peiyu snorted lightly, gave my hand a squeeze, and then sauntered off to check the accounts. In the evening, the shop assistants gathered for a meal, and I had a table of delicious food prepared to reward everyone. Peiyu served me some food, but the smell of meat made me feel nauseous. What's wrong with you? Are you exhausted lately? Peiyu was extremely worried and got up to call for a doctor. I thought I had caught a cold, and lately, I've been feeling unwell. The result was unexpected. I'm pregnant. The whole family was overjoyed, but I was left stunned. Peiyu carefully escorted me back to the room, taking good care of me. I saw the excited gleam in his eyes and couldn't help but let my imagination run wild. Peiyu, if I give birth to a girl, will you marry someone else? What nonsense are you talking about? I married you, and you're the only one for me. Peiyu hugged me. If the first child is a girl, we'll have another one. If you don't want to give birth again, then let our daughter take charge of the household. Just as capable as you. Mother-in-law probably won't agree. My mother listens to me. Otherwise, do you think you would have entered with all the proper etiquette and a grand banquet back then? I was stunned. This was something I had never understood at first. I just thought the Pei family was putting on a show for their first daughter-in-law, burning money for the sake of face. Peiyu, why are you so good to me? Because I like you, and I want to be good to you. When did you start liking me? My face grew warm. It was the first time I had heard him say something like that, and it felt a bit embarrassing. Peiyu chuckled, the light in his eyes growing even brighter. A long time ago, I saw you at the entrance of the salt shop. You were peeking at Yi Linen back then. I couldn't help but take a few extra glances because you looked so beautiful. Those few glances made it hard for me to forget you for a long time afterward, but I knew you liked the one surnamed Yi. A gentleman doesn't take what others love, so I never thought about crossing paths with you. Who would have thought that later, you would come to me on your own? Peiyu said, a silly grin spreading across his face. Wanwan, I am very fortunate to have married you. You are thoughtful in everything you do and take such good care of my parents. Truly, you are the best woman I have ever met. Marrying you, my husband, is also my blessing. I didn't know he had such a background, and I felt a bit emotional inside. Thankfully, I had taken the initiative to send my portrait back then. Peiyu lowered his gaze to look at me, his eyes filled with anticipation. Darling, now that you've forgotten about that ye fellow, do you have a little affection for me? Yes, I whispered, my face burning with embarrassment. Then my kindness towards you hasn't been in vain. Peiyu lowered his head to kiss me, his touch gentle to the utmost. My belly grew bigger day by day, and Peiyu stayed by my side all along. He accompanied me for walks on the street, saying he wanted to buy a hairpin for me. I always felt like someone was watching me while looking in the bronze mirror. I caught a glimpse of a figure not far behind me. It was Yi Linen, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. His face was still as pale as ever, looking even more frail. I pretended not to see him and continued walking forward, holding Peiyu's hand. Yi Linen won't bother me anymore, even if we run into each other. He wouldn't dare to come up and talk to me because Peiyu said that anyone who bullies his wife will be beaten up every time they meet. Peiyu is a man of his word. After dinner in the evening, my usually stingy mother-in-law gave me some more tonics. She looked at me for a long time before taking out a brocade box and handing it to me. Inside was a jade bracelet, which looked quite valuable. What is this, mother-in-law? This is the heirloom of our Pei family. You have done very well with the rouge shop these past few months. Try managing the family's shops from now on. I was overwhelmed and quickly tried to bow in gratitude. She held me up. Enough. Now that you're pregnant, take good care of yourself. I'm looking forward to holding my grandson soon. After my mother-in-law left, Peiyu quietly slipped in. Ever since I became pregnant, my mother-in-law had forbidden Peiyu from sleeping in my room, so he often sneaked over in the middle of the night. You're here again. Aren't you afraid of being scolded by Grandma? Let her scold me. I've been scolded plenty of times anyway. He held me in his arms, measuring the size of my waist with his fingers. I had gained quite a bit of weight. Seeing the bracelet in my arms, he smiled. I told you my mother would listen to me. It won't be long before you become my official wife. Yes, yes, yes. Then I'll rely on you from now on. My husband, you flatter me. I hope my wife will give me more pocket money in the future. I laughed out loud, feeling a sweet warmth in my heart. Peiyu stared at me, the darkness in his eyes deepening. My lady, it's getting late. Time to rest. Then why aren't you leaving? Why should I leave? It's only natural for me to accompany my lady to sleep. He carried me to the bed, looking serious, but his eyes were mischievous in the darkness. He kissed me and mumbled softly, "Darling, the doctor said that after 3 months, we can proceed with caution." The following summer, I gave birth to a son. On the day of the birth, I was crying inside the room, while Peiyu was crying outside, his voice almost drowning out mine. When the child turned 1 month old, the Pei family officially elevated me to the status of the principal wife. Not long after, I expanded the rouge shop to the capital. No one would remember the poor girl from Jicheng with the fox-like, seductive appearance and a bad reputation. Instead, they would only remember Madame Su Wn of the Pei family, who was charitable and highly capable. I heard that the Yi family's salt shop had closed down, and they were becoming increasingly destitute. The young master of the Yi family still hadn't married, but all of that has nothing to do with me anymore because I have a real family now. My son is 3 years old, and the Pei family's business is thriving more and more. Chishi Festival. The rouge shop is having a discount. I was helping out in the shop, watching those young ladies full of spirit and capable of handling things on their own, feeling quite pleased in my heart. Mom, come with me to see the lanterns." A small figure outside walked toward me and took my hand. I pinched his cheek, feeling how quickly the little one was growing. Peiyu stepped forward and hugged him, running so fast. "You only know how to bother your mother." Clearly, it was father who said he wanted to see mother. Little Bao pouted. Pei Xiao Bao. Peiyu frowned and glared, blaming him for telling the truth. I watched them with amusement, thinking they were truly two clingy souls. "All right, there's not much to do in the shop. Let's go buy lanterns, as my wife wishes." Peiyu's eyes held a smile as he followed me outside. The streets were bustling with people, full of excitement. The orange-red sunset filled the sky, its brilliant colors gradually fading into the darkness of night. Lotus lanterns drifted far away on the river, where many young women and men met for secret rendezvous by the water's edge. After watching the excitement, I carried 2 rabbit lanterns. You held my hand the whole time, as if afraid I might get lost. My dear, let's go home. Alright, after hearing the first story above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Next, there is another similar story. Let's continue to see. When the 9th Imperial uncle conquered the southern border, he was tricked by a sorceress while saving his beloved, and was implanted with an amnesia-inducing GU on the night he returned to the court. I threw myself into his arms and deceived him into believing that I was his 9th Imperial consort. For the next 8 years, he cherished me as if I were his life, but during my difficult childbirth and massive hemorrhage, the GU worm inside him suddenly vanished. He drew his sword and rushed into the delivery room, forbidding the Imperial physician from treating me. As he watched my unborn child die inside me, he coldly uttered a single sentence: "Wanwan, this is the price for deceiving me." He said that if I hadn't taken advantage of his amnesia to trick him, his beloved Ling Chuchu wouldn't have been forced into prostitution and died tragically in the brothel. I pleaded desperately, only to hear that he had rebelled against the throne and slaughtered the entire royal family. My father, the emperor, my mother, the empress, and my younger brother were neatly hung at the city gate. When I died a tragic death from excessive blood loss on my sickbed, he was instructing his subordinates to add Ling Chuchu's name to the family register. When I opened my eyes again, I had returned to the day my 9th Imperial uncle triumphantly returned, and this time, I just sweetly called out, "Imperial uncle." The Empress Dowager rushed over and whispered to me, asking why I didn't say what we had agreed upon earlier. The 9th Imperial uncle, Pei Ling, is a prince of a different surname. He is brave and skilled in battle, known as the #1 war god of the Yi dynasty. In order to win over Pei Ling, the Empress Dowager wanted me to take advantage of his amnesia and pretend to be the woman he admired. I know you have feelings for Pei Ling. This is your only chance to marry him, otherwise, you'll have no choice but to marry into the bitter cold of the northern region. In my past life, forced by the Empress Dowager, I deceived the 9th Imperial uncle and ended up in such a miserable state. The pain of that difficult childbirth still seems to linger within me. Pitiful my unborn child, who died in the womb, while his own father stood by and watched coldly. In her previous life, after Pei Ling regained her memories, she blamed me entirely for Ling Chuchu's death. He beheaded all of my relatives, including my father, the emperor, my mother, the empress, and my young brother. Their bodies were hung at the city gate, subjected to endless humiliation in this life. I would rather go to the northern region for a political marriage than repeat the same mistakes. What kind of joke is this, Your Majesty? The 9th prince was only schemed against by the GU sorceress because he was trying to save Miss Ling. He was implanted with an amnesia GU. This is a love that moves heaven and earth. I quickly brought up Ling Chuchu's existence and told Pei Ling what had happened before. If it weren't for Ling Chuchu wanting to pick that white lotus on the cliff, how would they have fallen into the GU sorceress's trap? He wouldn't have had his memories devoured by the GU insects either. But as soon as I finished speaking, Pei Ling suddenly grabbed me by the neck. His grip was incredibly strong, and a cold smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Murong Wn, you've been reborn too, haven't you? Why aren't you claiming to be my 9th princess consort this time?" I was suddenly startled. Pei Ling had been reborn as well. His eyes were bloodshot, and he used an extremely heavy hand, choking me until I could barely breathe. Yet he unnecessarily added an explanation. "In my previous life, it wasn't that I didn't want to save you and the child, I was just furious that you deceived me." Pei Ling said I had been following him around since I was little and was well aware of Ling Chuchu's situation. She is the daughter of a disgraced official, struggling to survive in the world of pleasure. Just because I deceived Pei Ling, on our wedding night, Ling Chuchu was so angry that she directly sold her first night. She acted out of spite but never waited for Pei Ling to come and save her. Ling Chuchu injured the guest who had bought her, causing a huge uproar, and in the end, She met a tragic fate. Let's just call it even. Wanwan, what is the imperial uncle worried about? We have no connection whatsoever. Let each go their own way. I wish you and Miss Ling a happy union for 100 years. My repeated calls of imperial uncle pierced Pei Ling's heart like needles. He let go of me and hurriedly left. The Empress Dowager entered the room in a rage, her voice lowered in a sharp rebuke. Useless thing. I gave you a chance but you couldn't make use of it. Since you can't win Pei Ling over, then you shall go for a political marriage. All right, I calmly replied. Are you insane? The northern region is bitterly cold. How can your sickly body endure it? Grandmother, the 9th imperial uncle hasn't lost his memory. He was just testing us earlier. You know how ruthless 9th imperial uncle's methods can be. The moment I looked up, the Empress Dowager's face turned pale. She feared Pei Ling, who now had growing influence and held absolute power over the court. These words completely defeated the Empress Dowager, and I insisted on accepting the decree to marry for political alliance. My mother cried until both her eyes were swollen. I lay on her lap, murmuring softly, I am a princess. This is my duty. Mother knows. But Wanwan, the northern region is a very cold place. Tears welled up in my eyes. But only by doing this could I protect you and father, and ensure my brother survives. I brought the imperial decree back to the princess's residence and gathered all the old belongings related to the 9th imperial uncle. He once saved me when I was chased by a wild wolf in the hunting grounds. He shot the wolf dead with an arrow and personally taught me how to ride a horse and shoot a bow. I kept that arrow from back then. I also kept the first letter, which he wrote to the emperor when he was trapped on the battlefield with no supplies left in it. He mentioned a few times that he could no longer teach me how to write in person. Tears, cold as ice, streamed down my cheeks. My affection for Pei Ling had always been hidden deep in my heart, and I never dared to hope for anything more. In my previous life, I was forced by the Empress Dowager to do such a thing. Pei Ling was right. I deceived him, and I deserved it. As I trembled and tried to burn these things, Pei Ling suddenly rushed in from outside the door. He said with a cold face full of anger, I should have known better than to trust your words. I really thought you had given up on me. Murong Wn, how cruel you are. If you want revenge for the grievances of our past life, come at me directly. Why target Choo Choo? Pei Ling raised his sword and lunged at me, causing the object in my hand to fall to the ground. He glanced at it and sneered even more coldly. Didn't we say we'd go our separate ways? Why are you still keeping these things? Pei Ling stepped forward and stomped on them fiercely a few times. Do you know that if I had arrived any later, Choo Choo would have lost her innocence? Even though she has fallen into the world of pleasure, she has always remained chaste for me. Pei Ling said that I, in order to get back at her, drugged Ling Choo Choo and nearly caused her to lose her innocence. I didn't do it. As the words fell, the long sword pierced my shoulder, and Pei Ling said it was a lesson for me. It's my fault for not teaching you well. I will make sure you learn the rules properly. The pain from this sword strike made tears stream down my face. I couldn't stop trembling all over. My face turned pale as I insisted, I didn't do it, but Pei Ling didn't believe it. He said I was best at lying. If it weren't for my deception in the previous life, Ling Choo Choo wouldn't have died. Without the slightest hesitation, he sent someone to throw me into the brothel. Pei Ling said a woman's reputation was the most important, yet I had attempted to ruin Ling Choo Choo's innocence. Don't play her to death, after all, she is still a princess. He threw me into a group of men. While I was being defiled by those men, Ling Choo Choo came in from outside, barefoot, and threw herself into Pei Ling's arms. Second brother, I'm scared. Ling Choo Choo held Pei Ling without any restraint, and the man, who had always kept his distance from women, showed no resistance. She pleaded for me, saying the 7th princess is just a bit willful, not a bad person. Why did you come out? It's cold outside. She's not worth your concern. The more Ling Choo Choo spoke like this, the more Pei Ling resented me. He said if I had even 1/10,000th of Ling Choo Choo's kindness, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Let's just consider it as accumulating virtue for our wedding, okay? The woman's voice was soft and delicate, and with Ling Choo Choo's coquettish plea, Pei Ling agreed. He affectionately reached out and gently tapped her nose. I had seen such a gentle demeanor in my previous life as well. It was Pei Ling after he lost his memory. He took my hand in his palm and asked, "Darling, why are your hands so cold? Let me warm them for you." My heart sank sharply as Pei Ling said he would let me go this time for Ling Chuchu's sake. "If there is a next time, I will make you pay the price. Princess Seven is just a little girl. Being so fierce will scare her." Ling Chuchu covered Pei Ling's mouth, scolding him for treating me that way. "The more unrestrained she becomes, the more it makes my past self seem like a joke. Love and the lack of it are truly so obvious." I limped downstairs but was stopped by Ling Chuchu. "How could someone as noble as the seventh princess cast aside all sense of propriety and shame? He is your imperial uncle, how dare you covet him?" Ling Chuchu's eyes were filled with ruthlessness, and her voice was icy cold. "How dare you still pester him? I am about to marry him. If the seventh princess has any self-respect, she should know better and leave." I froze in shock. This was not the Ling Chuchu I had heard of. She was known for her gentleness and understanding, a famous confidant, yet now she was like a venomous snake. "I will not pester him, and I wish you both," she went on to ask me herself. "Do you believe, seventh princess, that in second brother's heart, I am the most important? Do you dare make a bet with me?" As Ling Chuchu finished speaking, a venomous snake suddenly shot out from her sleeve and bit my wrist. I had no time to dodge. My body stiffened, and I collapsed heavily, dragging Ling Chuchu down the stairs with me. I lost all color from my face, while Ling Chuchu's head hit the railing on the side, scraping a bit of skin. When Pei Ling arrived and saw this scene, he panicked on the spot. "Murong Wn, Chuchu just pleaded for mercy on your behalf, and you repay kindness with enmity by treating her like this." Pei Ling scooped up the woman from the ground, his voice trembling as he asked Ling Chuchu if she was in pain and if she was okay. "The imperial physician said the aphrodisiac in your system has just been neutralized, and your body is too weak. Now you've suffered such a severe injury." Pei Ling said he wouldn't let me off, paralyzed by the snake venom. I couldn't move at all, and in my dying moments, I begged Pei Ling for mercy. I've been poisoned. Pei Ling, please, save me." The words that followed were unclear. Pei Ling frowned and looked at me. As if he had remembered something, he took out the 9 Revolutions soul-returning pill from my embrace. This was given to me by my father when I came of age. The only life-extending medicine left in the world by the ghost-handed miracle doctor. I thought Pei Ling wouldn't just stand by and watch me die. "Stop pretending, Murong Wn, you love lying and deceiving people the most, and you act so convincingly. This is a pleasure quarter, not some desolate wilderness. Where would a venomous snake come from?" The 9th Imperial Uncle didn't believe what I said. He fed that 9 Revolutions soul-returning pill to Ling Chuchu in despair. I tried to rush forward and snatch it, but Pei Ling kicked me away. "You're the one who caused Chuchu's injury. Consider this as repaying a favor to her. I don't want there to be a next time." After speaking, Pei Ling picked up Ling Chuchu, who was already fine, and left. The woman smugly raised an eyebrow at me. She mouthed the words to me. "Go die, Murong Wn. This snake venom has no antidote. The only medicine that could have prolonged your life has already been taken by me." I suddenly spat out several mouthfuls of blood, collapsed to the ground, and my consciousness slowly faded away. Blood was flowing from all my orifices, my life hanging by a thread. As I lay dying, scenes from my past life echoed in my ears. Why, in this life, did I still fail to avoid it despite my deliberate efforts to steer clear? Pei Ling, Ling Chuchu, I hate you. When I woke again, my mother was weeping by my sickbed. She had sought out the ghost hand divine physician to save my life. "It's just that the poison has penetrated my internal organs, and my left hand is already useless. What exactly happened? Wanwan, tell mother, and I will avenge you." Tears streamed down my cheeks as I clutched the hem of my mother's robe, shaking my head in agony. I knew Pei Ling's methods and didn't want my mother, father, or anyone else to risk themselves for me. But as soon as I closed my eyes, the tragic scenes of being brutally murdered by Pei Ling in my past life and tormented by them again in this life flashed through my mind one by one. I wish I could kill them with my own hands, but I too have my weaknesses. In the following days, I was busy with the matter of the marriage alliance. Pei Ling, for once, had someone send me pearls from the South Sea, and he bowed his head to apologize to me. That day's incident, Chu explained it to me, that you shielded her from the venomous snake. I should thank you. No need, I spoke coldly, telling Pei Ling to take the things away. You don't need to avoid me like this. Just like before, I will still treat you as family. Ninth uncle said as long as I don't act recklessly anymore and don't bully Ling Chu, he will not take action against the Murong family, and he will also help the Murong family protect this kingdom. My eyes were red and stinging with unshed tears. Family, is it the family who slaughtered my entire clan, watched me bleed profusely, and remained unmoved as my child died in the womb? The envoy from the northern region has already submitted the marriage alliance proposal. I know you fear the cold, so I declined this meeting on your behalf. You will not be chosen for the marriage alliance with the northern region. The ninth imperial uncle said this was the only thing he could do for me, as a way of repaying the favor I did by shielding Ling Chu from the venomous snake. I couldn't help but laugh. Ninth imperial uncle placed the invitation in my hand and urged me to attend, saying he would still treat me like family after he left. I discarded those South Sea pearls and burned the invitation. The day before the marriage alliance, my mother accompanied me to the temple to pray, holding my hand tightly. The journey ahead is long and arduous. Are you sure you don't want to tell your imperial uncle? You've always been so attached to him. I shook my head and carefully put away the protective talisman my mother had given me. As we were descending the mountain, we were suddenly blocked by a group of bandits. Those men were extremely brutal and killed everyone in our party. I shielded my mother firmly behind me. The leader, holding a blood-stained knife, looked at us with a lecherous gaze. The little one is for you to play with, but the one behind has real charm. I insist on having her serve me well. The emperor's woman, this is the first time I've encountered one, with such delicate skin. She must feel amazing to sleep with. That man rushed over, and I grabbed his broadsword tightly, refusing to let him bully my mother, but with a single lift of his hand, my arm was cut, and blood spurted out instantly. Another one. I gritted my teeth, the pain nearly making me faint, but I still stubbornly shielded my mother. Get out of the way, or I'll kill you. He vented his anger by cutting me 99 times. Just as I was losing too much blood and my vision went dark, Pei Ling's voice echoed in my ears. He shouted angrily, "Who gave you the nerve to harm the 7th princess? Ha, what are you, thinking you can save someone all by yourself?" But in the very next moment, Pei Ling took action and repelled the leading few. Just as he was dealing with the bandits, a sharp scream from Ling Chu suddenly echoed through the forest. Pei Ling's heart raced as he turned to look at me, clearly hesitating. Wanwan, wait here for a moment, I'll go check if Chu is alright, then come back to rescue you. I beg you, Pei Ling, save my mother. But I couldn't utter a single word, only watching helplessly as Pei Ling resolutely walked away. My mother desperately shielded me with her body. Those people, having been wounded by Pei Ling, took their anger out on us even more. My mother held me tightly, her heart aching, and untied the sash of her garment, revealing a large expanse of snow-white skin. And just in the neighboring woods, Ling Chu had only twisted her foot. She said angrily, "I'm not that fragile, you don't need to worry about me. Go quickly and save the virtuous consort and the 7th princess." The consort's clothes were torn to shreds by them. Those beasts vented their anger with vicious cruelty. Bitch. The man slapped the consort across the face, and blood streamed from the corner of her mouth. When Pei Ling arrived, he was met with this devastating scene. His voice trembled. After rescuing us, he kept apologizing to me all the way back. Ling Chu's eyes reddened even more. It's all because second brother is too worried about me. He insisted on carrying me down the mountain himself just because I twisted my ankle. But my heart had long grown numb. The next day was the day I set off for the marriage alliance. My mother accompanied me on the journey, afraid that I would worry about her. I felt a pang of guilt in my heart, living a second life, yet still unable to change the course of fate. As the marriage procession left the capital, it happened to pass by Pei Ling's wedding entourage. He seemed to recall something. "Go and hurry the 7th princess, she's probably still angry with me." The guard replied in confusion, "The 7th princess cannot come, what's going on?" Today is the day the seventh prince goes to the northern region for a political marriage. What? Who did you say is going for the political marriage? Pei Ling's face instantly turned pale. He dismounted from his horse, grabbed his subordinate, and the veins on his forehead bulged. Didn't I give orders that the seventh princess must not be on the list for this political marriage? Pei Ling questioned how they could be so incompetent, failing to handle even such a minor matter. He said that was the only thing he could do for me. No wonder she's been distancing herself from me. She must hate me. Pei Ling mounted his horse, turned around, and intended to chase after the marriage procession. But at that moment, Ling Chuchu, dressed in her wedding attire, stood in his way. She said the auspicious time had arrived, and if Pei Ling were to chase after me now, she would become a laughingstock. I am the daughter of a disgraced official, born in a place of ill repute. Marrying me has already tarnished the ninth prince's reputation. If you abandon me now, Ling Chuchu's tears fell from her eyes. Her pitiful appearance would stir compassion in anyone who saw it. Pei Ling hesitated. He also understood the meaning behind Ling Chuchu's words, but the next moment, he still mounted the horse. The marriage procession has just left the city. If I go after them now, I can still make it back in time for the wedding. Pei Ling said today is his most important day, and he wants me to witness it. Pei Ling's heart was in turmoil, unable to explain why. When Ling Chuchu suddenly blocked the path of the horse, she said that if Pei Ling intended to chase after me today, he would have to step over her body. Second brother. You said your heart belonged only to me, so why? The northern frontier is bitterly cold, and Wanwan has been pampered since childhood. She can't endure it. I don't want her to make a decision she'll regret for the rest of her life just because she's angry with me. Pei Ling's expression darkened slightly as he looked at Ling Chuchu in this state. Must you go today? Pei Ling turned to the side and instructed his subordinate, take the lady away. I will return in time for the wedding ceremony. If anyone dares to say a word, cut out their tongue. Yes, Ling Chuchu was forcibly taken away. As she watched Pei Ling's retreating figure, she fell into deep thought at that moment. She clenched her hands tightly inside the carriage. I held my mother tightly, crying uncontrollably, apologizing to her over and over. It's not your fault, Wanwan. You've protected me well enough. It's me who failed to protect you. No, it's my fault. This ordeal was no accident at all. Those bandits could tell at a glance that my mother was from the palace. Even though we weren't dressed in court attire, it must have been arranged beforehand. There's no need to guess who is behind it. I hold a deep hatred in my heart, and I will not let them get away with this in this second life. I thought that if I kept my distance from Pei Ling, going our separate ways without any entanglement, I could avoid falling into the same cycle as my previous life. I had clearly hidden far enough away, so why did I still end up like this? I refused to accept this, and just then, the carriage suddenly stopped, and someone said the ninth prince had arrived. I was startled and saw someone lift the carriage curtain. Pei Ling, covered in dust and looking weary, coldly questioned me. Have you had enough of this tantrum? You should know when to throw a fit. Do you even know where the northern domain is? Pei Ling said that the journey ahead is long and arduous. You may never see me again in this lifetime. His eyes were bloodshot, and the tone in which he spoke made it seem as though we were a deeply devoted couple who had loved each other for years. I suddenly laughed. Wouldn't that be exactly what you wish for, Imperial Uncle? Enough, Murong Wn. You don't need to speak like that. I truly let you down. I failed to save you yesterday, and before that, I misunderstood you. Pei Ling said we could go back to how we used to be, and he would protect me. Why won't you believe me, WN, even if it's to make up for the unborn child, if you go to the northern region? What are you saying, Imperial Uncle? I am the princess of the Yi dynasty, and marrying for alliance is my duty. I gritted my teeth and spoke word by word. The protection Pei Ling mentioned was seeing me severely injured, yet without hesitation abandoning me to attend to Ling Chuchu's sprained foot. I couldn't afford to gamble, nor did I want to, but the ninth Imperial Uncle repeatedly assured me that yesterday's situation would be the last time. No matter what your intentions are, I do not agree with this marriage alliance, and you will not go even if you want to. Pei Ling gave the order to turn the marriage procession back. But I showed the imperial decree in my hand. I had requested permission to go for the marriage alliance. Pei Ling's expression changed instantly. He asked me in a trembling voice, "Do you despise me that much? You flatter me, imperial uncle." "What imperial uncle? Try saying that again." Pei Ling's methods had always been ruthless. If he said the marriage procession was not to leave, no one dared to act recklessly. Tearing up this imperial decree would be a matter of moments for him. If he wished, he could easily have my father change it. However, I had long anticipated all of this. "Let's see who dares to send you off today, noble consort. Please come this way. There are some words I would like to share with Wanwan in private." "I refuse." My mother firmly stood in front of me. Wanwan has suffered severe injuries, 99 bloody wounds on her body. The ghost hand miracle doctor barely managed to save her. "I cannot let you harm her," my mother said. "Even if I don't speak, she knows that the incident with the venomous snake must be related to Pei Ling. She said she would protect me even if it costs her life. I am not like the prince, who claims to protect Wanwan but easily abandons her when she is in a critical condition, bleeding heavily. What happened yesterday was my oversight. The virtuous consort is right. Pei Ling said his trusted aide was right behind us yesterday, but for some reason, he arrived late, causing me and my mother to suffer humiliation." A wave of nausea rose from the depths of my heart. My mother was resolute, and Pei Ling had no choice. Just as he ordered the marriage procession to turn back, a troop of armored cavalry suddenly surrounded the path. The man in the lead, dressed in white, walked up to the carriage and said with a smile, "What? Is the 9th prince planning to steal my bride on his wedding day?" The crown prince of the northern domain, Nangong Yi, appeared here because I had written to invite him long ago. Through the curtain, I caught a glimpse of that breathtakingly beautiful face, truly worthy of the praise even the ghost hand divine physician had given it. "This is an ointment abundantly produced in the northern region. Applying it can help wounds heal." Nangong Yi said he would personally apply the ointment for me. But Pei Ling refused to back down. "Men and women should not touch each other inappropriately, and Wanwan isn't married to you. What's the matter, 9th prince? Can't bear to part with her?" Nangong Yi raised an eyebrow and leaned close to his ear. "After all, you raised her with your own hands. Why don't you marry her, 9th prince?" Nangong Yi smiled and asked why the 9th prince, instead of attending his own wedding with his beautiful bride, was here intercepting his future crown princess. He got into the carriage on his own, and when our eyes met, I always felt as if I had seen him somewhere before. Nangong Yi naturally grabbed my hand and said, "The 9th prince is getting married, and my wife and I will naturally go to congratulate him. Please return first." His words made Pei Ling grit his teeth in anger, but it was Pei Ling who clearly detested me and hated me to the core. "So what is he doing now? By the way, on my way here, I took care of the mountain bandits for your knight dynasty, Wanwan. I've already cut off the heads of those who bullied you." Nangong Yi spoke gently, apologizing for not arriving yesterday, saying that if he had been there, no one could have harmed me under his watch. Pei Ling grew even angrier, and at that moment, Nangong Yi continued, "Those people really couldn't withstand the interrogation. It's clear that someone bribed them for what happened yesterday." Nangong Yi threw the item in his hand over. "If I'm not mistaken, these personal belongings came from the Fengyu pavilion. The one who bribed the bandits was actually a woman." "What do you mean by that?" Pei Ling lowered her voice. "You don't even realize the person lying next to you is a venomous snake, and the 9th prince is nothing more than this." Tension instantly escalated between the two. A murderous aura erupted. Pei Ling said coldly, "Choo Choo can't even bear the sound of a chicken being killed. How could she possibly do such a thing?" "I never said it was Miss Choo Choo," Nangong Yi sneered. "The 9th prince also suspects her in his heart, doesn't he?" "Shut up." Pei Ling said no one is allowed to slander Ling Choo Choo. She would never do such a thing. You don't need to stand up for WN by creating something like this to frame Choo Choo. I remained silent on the side. But I also understood what Nangong Yi was saying. I was troubled by the lack of evidence, but he brought the evidence with him. It's just that Ling Choo Choo holds too much weight in Pei Ling's heart. Even at this point, he still refuses to believe it. The venomous snake that bit Wanwan was bred by the former imperial family. Only those of royal blood could have raised it. Who do you think it could be? Nangongi stopped there, knowing that Pei Ling was no fool. As long as he was willing to investigate, these flawed and inconsistent details would surely be uncovered. As Pei Ling left, Nangongi said softly to his mother, "I'll apply the medicine for Wanwan." Okay. When my mother left, my heart tightened, but I didn't show any fear. She is not someone who easily trusts others, yet she allowed me to be alone with Nangongi. Do you know my mother? Ghost Hand Miracle Doctor is my master, and our mother can be considered my martial aunt. I furrowed my brow, and the next moment, Gongi reached out to apply the medicine for me. He said that to make the wound heal quickly, I must apply this. I'll do it myself. What about your back? You're going to marry me, so what are you still afraid of? Gongi said. That patience is the key to revenge. Without a bit of tolerance, how can one seek vengeance? What do you think? Wanwan. My back stiffened abruptly. He was right, I had to endure, and I had to recover quickly. I endured the pain as Nangongi applied the ointment for me. It might hurt a little, bear with it. Even though his movements were gentle, the wounds still hurt intensely. After applying the ointment, he returned to the capital with us. He grabbed my hand, and in full view of everyone, we went together to the 9th Prince's residence. With your husband here, there's no need to be afraid. Wanwan, try to trust me a little. Seeing that I wanted to withdraw my hand, he held it even tighter. By the time we entered, the guests inside had already dispersed. I was somewhat surprised, only then hearing from the servants that the wedding was called off. Pei Ling and Ling Chuchu had a huge falling out. Did you release a snake to bite her? The 9th Imperial uncle asked in a low voice. Yet the resentment was still audible. Why, it was the little snake that accidentally bit her. Ling Chuchu said it was just an accident. She looked at the dead snake and then met Pei Ling's furious eyes. He said he hated being lied to the most, but Ling Chuchu panicked. I wanted to explain it to you, but you were so worried about me at the time. I sneered coldly. What a perfect time to clarify things. Ling Chuchu, you set a snake on me, and even though it only grazed my skin, you ended up taking my life-saving elixir. My hand was already useless. This was what she called an accident. I'm sorry, 7th Princess, but that day really was an accident. I'll do anything to make it up to you. Ling Chuchu insisted she had no ill intentions toward me. She anxiously tried to explain, asking Pei Ling if he didn't believe her. Pei Ling took a deep breath. The venomous snake might not have been intentional, but what about those mountain bandits who defiled them yesterday? What do you mean? Do you suspect that I hired the mountain bandits to harm them? Ling Chuchu took 2 steps back, questioning why Pei Ling didn't even give her that little bit of trust. What a clever move to turn the tables and distort the truth. If it were before, Pei Ling would have long since softened and admitted her mistake. But now, with a gloomy expression, she did not step forward. Ling Chuchu felt uncertain in her heart. Chuchu, I hate being lied to the most. This statement was not only directed at Ling Chuchu but also at me. Pei Ling had already seized all the evidence. Ling Chuchu suddenly lost her composure, her knees giving way as she knelt before Pei Ling. Yes, I did everything. I was jealous of Murong Wn. Ling Chuchu gritted her teeth, saying that Pei Ling kept claiming he didn't love her and didn't care about her, yet his attitude kept changing every time. You gave me her elixir and then sought out the Ghost Hand Miracle Doctor, wanting to trade your own eyes for Murong Wan's life. When you came to the bamboo grove to see that I was fine and turned to leave, was Murong Wn on your mind? You still keep those love letters she wrote you, the paintings she made. Pei Ling, why are you deceiving yourself? Ling Chuchu said that Pei Ling loved without realizing it, but the man claimed otherwise. It's you being overly suspicious, it's you overthinking. Wanwan is just my family. The 9th Imperial uncle said he could never love me, that he utterly detests me. Yes. When he regained his memories in our past life, he immediately tried to kill me. I will never forget how, while I was hemorrhaging, I desperately begged him to save the child in my womb, to save me, yet he slaughtered my entire family and hung all their bodies. Is this how he feels about me? How laughable. Don't deceive yourself. If it weren't for her, why would you be so flustered upon hearing that Murong Wn is going to marry for political alliance? If you don't care about her, then why can't you bear to let her go? Ling Chuchu said. Pei Ling's heart was wavering. These past few nights, Whose name have you been murmuring in your sleep? Who are you calling my lady? I don't need to say it, I did do those things. Pei Ling, just kill me. Ling Chuchu closed her eyes in pain. She thought she could marry Pei Ling. But she never expected that the man who once had eyes only for her now seems to have reserved a place in his heart for me. But she doesn't know how Pei Ling treated me in our past life. These suspicions are completely unfounded. Enough, Nan Gongyi sneered coldly. I don't want to hear about your affairs, but I will avenge the grudge of letting snakes bite my wife. He didn't want to hear those words anymore and covered my ears. I shook my head. It's fine. There's nothing left between Pei Ling and me. Nan Gongyi said that the snake he carefully brought from the northern region is very venomous, and its bite is extremely painful. Pei Ling, however, stepped in front of Ling Chuchu at that moment, his heart filled with immense sorrow. You shouldn't have done this, Chuchu. We could have spent our lives together, but you deceived me. Pei Ling said he would seek justice for me, but out of consideration for the fact that Ling Chuchu had once saved his life, I'll take this bite for her. Hiss, Nan Gongyi sneered coldly. Then will the ninth prince also take her place for last night's humiliation? Outrageous. Pei Ling's subordinate shouted angrily, but by then, Pei Ling had already extended his hand, allowing the venomous snake to bite him. Yet it was at this moment that I spoke up. Can the debt of saving a life be repaid with a request? When will you repay me, ninth imperial uncle, for the kindness of drawing blood to create the antidote for you at Lingshan Manor? I took out the jade pendant that I had kept hidden for a long time and placed it in front of Pei Ling. The man's expression instantly changed. What do you mean? Was it you who bled that time? Yeah, I didn't expect Pei Ling to react so strongly. He suddenly grabbed my wrist and demanded to know if I was lying to him again. Murong Wn, are you still unable to break the habit of your deceitful tricks, ninth imperial uncle? How ridiculous. If it weren't for my mother, why would the ghost hand miracle doctor detoxify you? He used my blood. Clang, something fell to the ground. Pei Ling looked at me with a myriad of emotions in his eyes, and in the very next second, Ling Chuchu suddenly drew her sword and lunged at me, but was kicked away by Nan Gongyi. How dare you harm my wife right under my eyes? Who do you think you are? Seize this wretch. I will tear her limb from limb. Nan Gongyi said he was by no means a merciful man. Covering my eyes, he forbade me from looking, saying the scenes were too bloody and would give me nightmares at night. My heart suddenly trembled. I don't know why Nan Gongyi treats me so gently, but I have a vague feeling that I've met him somewhere before. What do you mean your wife? I never agreed to your marriage alliance. Pei Ling gritted his teeth and questioned me again, asking if it was me at the villa. I have no reason to lie to him. It was me. How could this be? Didn't the ninth prince say he would take my place? Nan Gongyi struck ruthlessly, biting Pei Ling's hand in that instant. The snake was highly venomous, and Pei Ling froze on the spot immediately. With Pei Ling caught off guard, Nan Gongyi succeeded in his sneak attack. This is what you owe Wanwan, and it's far from over. But Pei Ling, I won't take your life. I want you to watch as Wanwan marries me. Nan Gongyi said he wouldn't give Pei Ling the antidote for now. He wanted him to taste the pain that cuts to the bone. Pei Ling endured the pain, refusing to kneel, his forehead beaded with cold sweat. I'm sorry, Wanwan. Tears streamed down his cheeks. He actually said sorry to me. This is truly rare. I stood in front of Pei Ling, my expression wooden. Don't say sorry to me, ninth imperial uncle. I'm not worthy. No. Wanwan, I thought it was Ling Chuchu who saved me that night, so I formed a sworn bond with her and saved her. I didn't expect it was you who saved me. He said if he had known the truth earlier, perhaps we wouldn't have ended up like this. So, imperial uncle, are you begging for mercy now? Unfortunately, it's too late. I watched Pei Ling struggle in agony. I turned around, grabbed Nan Gongyi's hand, and left. At that moment, my heart felt at ease. To me, it didn't matter who saved Pei Ling in my past life. I was like a moth drawn to a flame. Under the Empress Dowager's pressure, I chose to deceive Pei Ling instead of agreeing to the marriage alliance. At that time, I also had my own selfish motives. I was hiding my feelings for him. Pei Ling was right. Everything that happened was my retribution now. The cause and effect are clear. On the day I married Nan Gongyi, the weather was clear and beautiful. Pei Ling's poison had been cured. but she was left to spend her days confined to a wheelchair. Ling Chuchu was thrown into prison, subjected to all kinds of torture, and then cast into the military camp to serve as a prostitute for the soldiers. But this is far from enough. I turned and walked step by step towards Nan Gongyi, and when the sunlight fell upon him, I suddenly remembered, when I sneaked out of the palace as a child, the boy who waited for me under the city wall had eyes just like his. He picked a beautiful peach blossom and tucked it into my hair. At this moment, I remembered everything. What are you giggling about, Wanwan? From now on, as long as your husband is here, no one is allowed to bully you. Nothing, really. I just want a peach blossom. Where would you find peach blossoms in this kind of weather? But Nan Gongyi had his people prepare everything early. This is the object of our first meeting, and it is also what opened the depths of our hearts. Just like when we were young, he tucked a peach blossom into my hair and murmured softly, "Finally. This time I didn't miss you." What did you say? None. Nan Gongyi's voice drifted in the wind as he lowered his head to kiss me. He said, "Wanwan, in this lifetime, let's not miss each other again." After hearing the two stories above, what are your thoughts? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section. Looking forward to hearing from you. If you liked this story, don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.